Shalom, family. It's good to see you all here. All right. Shalom. All right. We're just going to give it a little more time for people to come in, and then we'll get started. Well, XBL motive, yeah, it's going to get worse. And the reason why it's going to get worse is because leadership is really poor. In America, these folks are not made for disasters. It's becoming very apparent. If it's not a Band-Aid solution, they don't know what to do. And the leadership is just making everything worse. They're not helping at all. So it's a bad situation, but it's the citizens that are paying the price for these overpriced Congress and senators that should be doing their jobs, but they're not. You know, I don't even understand why they are there if they don't want to do their job. So hopefully this information that I'm about to give you will help, even if it's not you, maybe someone in your family or a friend or somebody you know that's about to be evicted. You know, and the sad part is the people that have already been evicted didn't even know this existed. Had they known, they would not have had to leave their, rental location at least for a few more months. But they never tell the public anything, and that's part of the problem. They keep everybody in the dark about many things, and it's not right. You know, your lives are on the line. People got children. So it's not like in many cases, it'll be just one adult getting kicked out. You're kicking out whole families and you don't care. You know, I was watching last week. It was it was a couple and they had two small children, and they actually showed them being kicked out of their home. And they were interviewing the man, and when he walked up to the mic, he just broke down and cried. It was nothing he could do but just get his family in the car and leave. You know, it's terrible how they're treating people. You know, coronavirus is not the fault of the public. I don't fault the public. I fault the leadership that should have taken every precaution when they had the chance to do it. So they have failed, and they continue to fail us every single day. When you see America #1 in the entire world with coronavirus, they're failing us every single day. You know, these folks are just not made for disasters. They're not. They've had their little sheltered lives and they never had to worry about anything. Now we just threw something huge on their plate and they can't handle it. It's very obvious they cannot handle what's going on, but they're going to keep getting up every day and faking the funk like they know what they're doing. And when they don't know, you know, we're pretty much on our own. We're just going to have to get through this whole thing the best way that we can. You cannot rely on this government or its leadership at all. And that's what this whole thing has showed me. And I know I don't stand alone on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do have the form that I'm going to tell you about in the description box. So I'm going to share my screen, because every time I use the description box, people will always tell me they can't find it. And so I'm going to take this opportunity to show you the description box. I'm not calling you stupid, but some of y'all just look. Just look. That's why I don't use the description box, and I usually pin my information in the comment section, because I had multiple people. When I had my Cash App and all that information in the description box, I would have multiple people telling me they couldn't find it. All right, y'all, give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Give me a 1. Thank you. All right. All right. Here's my box. I would have. All right. Here's my video, the actual video that you will see when I'm done with this live stream. Okay. Here's the description box right below my name and my subscriber count. Here is the form. And some of you, if you want to click on it right now, you can click on the form. All right. So if you click on this form in the description box, this is it. Just click on the form. It'll open up. This is the form from the CDC. This can halt your evictions. All right. So anybody that's in trouble right now, get this form to them immediately. Now, the expiration is December 31st, 2020 on the form. And this will give them at least a few more months. Hopefully, before December 31st, 2020, there'll be another stimulus. And the stimulus is supposed to include a moratorium that's going to last for 1 whole year for renters in this country. So unfortunately, it's too late for people that already been evicted. It's too late for them. And again, I fault this government because they should have made this known to every renter in this country that this form was available to buy them some more time. And unfortunately, thousands of people in this country have been evicted. Many of them have nowhere to go. Some of them are sick with COVID. They can't just go and move in with people. So they are stuck living in their cars. And look, we're getting ready to go through a season change. Depending on where you live in the country, it's about to get cold. So I'm going to let you watch a video that I actually pre-record. I was going to do this as a video, but I said, you know what? Let me just post it during a live stream. That way I can show you the form. I can make the form accessible to you through the description box. And then you can understand everything about this. That way you can explain it to anybody that need it. Look, even if you are a renter and you are on top of your rent, get this form anyway, because over the next couple of months, we don't know what's going to happen. Print it out anyway, or get the file and download it anyway. That way it's available if you need it. All right. I think it's... Because over the... All right, not that one. Let's see. All right, let me just stop this for a second. I think I might have to get that. Give me 1 second. Close that. Okay, I got it. All right, here we go. It doesn't seem to matter that there is a federal ban on evictions. Many of these states are still moving forward and people are being evicted. So this came out on NPR September 14th, 2020. Despite a new federal ban, many renters still getting evicted. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and play this audio.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has ordered a nationwide eviction ban for people who can't pay rent during the pandemic and have no place else to go. While the ban is helping some people, it's not automatic. Many renters don't know how to take advantage of this, so they are getting evicted anyway. NPR's Chris Arnold reports.
We first talked to Alice and Jeremy Bumpus outside a county housing court for Houston, Texas. A powerful tropical storm was blowing in from the Gulf. We spoke over a Zoom video call. Jeremy and Alice, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Evictions have been back underway in Houston, even though the state remains a hot spot for COVID with around 4,000 new cases every day. Alice Bumpus explains that she and her husband both lost their jobs after the pandemic hit. She worked at an airport fast food restaurant. He lost a warehouse job.
We explained to the judge that due to everything that was going on, we just fell behind on just our 1 month rent.
But in Texas, missing 1 month's rent gives the landlord the right to evict you. So the judge ruled against them. It appears that they should have qualified for unemployment, but the state office told them they didn't qualify. They were still trying to sort that out. Back at the house they've been renting, the couple explains that they have 3 kids and Jeremy's mom living with them.
We got 13, 12, and a 10-year-old in the house. My mom is 68.
And that's what we worry about the most, how much more we're going to be at risk when we have to move up out of our home. My mother-in-law is very sickly.
Their landlord didn't respond to repeated requests for an interview. At this point, they had to get out in a matter of days, and they didn't have enough money to rent another place.
The kids is a little worried, but they know at the end of the day that we're going to do whatever that it takes to protect them. But, it was hard, talking to them.
But then the CDC announced this new ban. At this point, they had to get out in a matter of days, but they didn't have enough money to automatic. Renters need to give their landlord a signed declaration. You can get the form on the CDC website, and you have to swear basically that, among other things, you have no options besides being homeless or moving in with other people in close quarters. The Bumpuses have been getting help from a legal aid lawyer who quickly got that form to them.
So he called us and had us sign the paper, and he trying to take it to the court and see what could happen.
And now it looks like the CDC eviction ban is going to protect the family until the end of the year. The court told law enforcement not to evict them. But the Bumpuses were lucky. They had a lawyer. By one count, just in the Houston area, more than 9,000 eviction cases have been filed during the pandemic. It's one of the ground zero cities when it comes to evictions. And less than 4% of those people have an attorney.
I'm standing outside of a Harris County courthouse. It's just outside of Houston.
Reporter Jen Rice is with Houston Public Media. Since the CDC eviction ban was announced, she's been going to eviction hearings over the past week to try to find out basically whether this is working for renters who need the help. What are you seeing?
I've been to 4 courts, and at this point I've watched about 100 cases, and I actually just saw someone apply the CDC moratorium and prevent their eviction for the first time. So that was 1 case out of about 100.
Really? So literally, you're saying 99% of the cases, this CDC eviction moratorium is not helping those people?
Yeah, that's right. Typically what I see is that the renter doesn't show up, the landlord representative does show up, and then the case is decided for the landlord.
Basically, she says, at least so far, this is business as usual at eviction hearings. The judges aren't asking landlords if tenants sent them the CDC declarations. Tenants who do show up, most don't appear to even know about their rights under the CDC order. The judges don't ask them about that. And in the vast majority of cases, the landlord is given the right to evict them. That's despite the CDC order in the middle of a pandemic.
This is a emergency order from the Center for Disease Control to prevent people from dying.
John Henneberger is a co-director of Texas Housers. It's a prominent housing policy nonprofit. He's watching this play out in courts across the state and the country, and he sees lots of confusion.
We're still working in that murky period between the order hits and the courts and the government bureaucracy figures out how to actually implement it. And there's a lot of people already falling through the cracks.
Meanwhile, landlords say the CDC eviction ban isn't fair to them because there's no money in it for the unpaid rent. Paula Sino is with the National Multifamily Housing Council, which represents landlords. She says that with tens of millions of Americans out of work, Congress needs to come back to the table and pass another stimulus bill that has help for renters.
Americans still aren't working. They have depleted their savings. When a renter doesn't pay, then we can't make our mortgage payments, pay our payroll. And that really creates the opportunity for a systemic failure in the housing market.
For their part, Jeremy and Alice Bumpus in the Houston area are at least glad that they're not getting evicted for now. Alice has been told that she's been approved for unemployment benefits, though the money hasn't started coming yet.
This situation can happen to anyone, you know. Sometimes life throws you curveballs, and it just depends on how you handle that curveball. So right now we're hitting it as best as we could and just keep moving forward.
Jeremy signed up with 3 different food delivery services, and they're trying to start a business doing car detailing and all kinds of other odd jobs, hoping that they can piece together enough income to afford a place to live. Chris Arnold, NPR News.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, the problem is they never told the public that this form was available. This emergency form that can block evictions, they never told the public it's available. So I feel bad for all of the people that got evicted and really didn't have to leave at all. So this is why it's really important that we educate ourselves on what's available out here. You can't count on this government to, to just tell you, look, if you just take this CDC form with you in court, give it to your landlord, take it with you, in court, this will stop the eviction. How many people know that? Not many. Probably hardly none. So let me pull up the form. Let me share my screen one more time. Let me see if I can get that form. Here it is. Yeah, we can do this. All right. All right. So if you look in the description box, you'll see the link to this form. In fact, I opened this link from my description box. And if you don't know where it is, please look under my image and subscriber count. That is the description box. And you should be able to see the title of the form, which says in brackets, form declaration under penalty of perjury for the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, temporary halt in evictions to prevent further spread of COVID-19. So the only thing you need to do with this form is really sign it. Okay, so if your life has been impacted, which everybody unemployed has been impacted by COVID, then you're eligible to use this form. So the second page of the form, this is where you will sign and date. You have to make sure you provide this to your landlord. And if there's a court date, you must figure out, how court is going to be in your state. It varies from state to state. You may have to still make a physical appearance, and some courts are doing things virtually. But make sure you have this form filled out, dated, and present it to the courts when your date comes up for eviction. Don't skip that date. Make sure you go to court. And once you show this in court, they have to halt the eviction. Okay? It's not all the time in the world, but it might be to somebody on the verge of getting thrown out, very soon. So you'll see the expiration up here, December 31st. And the thing is, hopefully they'll have a stimulus package passed and you won't have to worry about doing another form. But in the case where they don't do another stimulus package, you're probably going to have to come out on the internet and look for a more updated form to continue to block your eviction. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's not a lot, but if it helps even a little, then hopefully it will help somebody out there. Yeah, so I don't think there should be any evictions as long as a pandemic is going on. I will never understand why this government could not provide some type of financial assistance to landlords in this country. I have no idea why they could not have included that in the first stimulus, the CARES Act, but they didn't. Okay, y'all. I hope everybody stays safe and may the Most High just be with each and every one of you. And, the form will always be there on this video in the description box. So anytime you need it, you can go there. What I will also do, I will put it in my community tab. And many of you know where my community tab is. I'll also put it out there as well, so anybody can access it. All right, y'all. So this concludes this live stream. And we'll try to come back again. I'm actually trying to arrange an interview with Big Judah. And he may be able to do it tonight. So just look for that live stream. I'm just waiting to hear back from him. And as soon as I do, I'll post the live stream. And so that each and every one of you can come and listen in on that. All right, y'all. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Peace, family.